My God, Oda has been in his bag. And I'm not just saying that because a lot of people say that every single freaking week when almost literally anything happens. But my God, first we get last chapter 1079, now we got 1080? Yo, these chapters are too good, man. GARP, by the way, GARP, straight up, he's always been like my top 10 favorite characters in One Piece. He's always been in my top 10. I've always loved this man. I've always kind of related to him a little bit in the sense with certain values and such. And I love this freaking character, dude. I love this character so much. But then we get to see what he's actually capable of. Okay, first of all, I need to change my top 30 so bad. Because I think I was wrong on a few things about GARP. Because I put him at Admiral level. And I thought about it, and it's not even, this chapter wasn't even the chapter that changed my mind. I thought about this like a few months ago, right? But we really need to put GARP somewhere else, and I think his level may be within the Yonko range, as he is now. I mean, of course, when he was younger, he was like Pirate King level, but anyways, oh my God, GARP is something else, I tell you what. But hi, I'm Vagabond Kana. This is One Piece chapter 1080, The Legendary Hero. So crazy enough, this chapter is a full-fledged Blackbeard chapter. It does not go to Luffy because, let's be honest, if it went to Luffy, we would be getting Blackbeard himself. So this is a Blackbeard Pirates chapter, and I'm all for it because we get to see the names of the Blackbeard Pirates' Devil Fruit abilities. But before we get on to that, Kobe has a bounty from the Cross Guild itself, and this is the reason why Blackbeard had picked up Kobe in the first place. And it all kind of makes sense. I actually like the explanation behind Blackbeard kidnapping Kobe, because at first, when he saw Kobe at Amazon Lily and just took him, I was like, why did he take Kobe? Why did he do that? He said, man, I'm leaving with something. And that's basically what he said. But we see more of what's going on. And so Kobe has a 5-star bounty on his head from Cross Guild, which I love to see that being impacted in here. But also Blackbeard has a full-fledged plan to actually use Kobe to really try to make a deal with the government to make his island his own like country. And so he can be like the king of Hachinosu Island. But then we actually get to see the big skull-headed thing at the center of the island, the most iconic thing of Hachinosu. It starts to talk. And we come to find out that the boy Avala Pizarro is just talking out of it. Turns out he has something called the Island Fruit. So I am pretty much guessing this is basically it's pretty much the same thing as Pika's fruit. Only difference is that Avala Pizarro can become more than just stone. He can fuse into literally everything and control everything that is on the freaking island. He can also feel everybody that's on him. I'm not sure if Pika could feel everybody on him. I don't know if Pika could feel anything because what Avala Pizarro says, he says that, I feel a tickling near my chest. I'm guessing, oh yeah, that's where the prisoners are. I'm guessing somebody broke out. And I was like, oh man, I don't remember Pika doing something like that. So I think Avala Pizarro has more sensory capabilities when it comes to at least the Island Fruit. I'm not sure, but I definitely love this. This is actually a pretty dope ability, dude, because Pika's was already crazy. But the fact that Avala Pizarro can become part of anything, and you know, guys, you know, this is the 1080s, and I'm just gonna go ahead and straight up mention it. I had theorized that in the Straw Hat Blackbeard matchups that Carrot would be the one facing off against Avala Pizarro, and yeah. I can see this being a tough fight for her, and I can actually see a few things. I know people right now are going, oh, you think Carrot's joining? Screw you. But it's like, I mean, we all have our own opinions. There are some people that think Kobe's gonna join. And my opinion on Carrot can't be that freaking bad. It really can't. It can't. I'm sorry. But then we go off to see Shiryu here. Now we already know his abilities, so I'm just gonna kind of skip over Shiryu because he doesn't really say much anyways. He's just kind of there. But Avala Pizarro is talking to Shiryu, and then Vasco's shot comes out of nowhere. We have not known his ability at all. We have not known, but now we do. In some translations, it says he has the liquor fruit. In the TCB translation, it says he has the glug fruit. Now, I'm going to assume it is the glug fruit that he actually has. We have to wait for the viz to come out for this one because, you know, TCB OP scans have something a little bit different here, but I think I'm going to trust a little bit more on the TCB one for right now. But the glug fruit may more than likely be what it is. So he's a glug man or a liquor man or a drunk man or whatever the heck. I mean, he's already a drunk man, but you get the point. So Vasco's shot is just floating along San Juan Wolf's sleeping bubbles. That's coming out his nose, which is disgusting, but he's just floating on them and but while drinking booze. And what he says is, if I burn the town down, there will be nowhere left to run. And then Avala Pizarro goes, oh yeah, that's a perfect plan. Because, you know, Avala Pizarro has this whole cat thing going on, right? And he's like, the only thing is, all that fire damage would still piss off Teach. Because, you know, Avala Pizarro, he doesn't want to damage the city. They also mentioned the Rocky Port incident. It was like, hey, we just patched up the Rocky Port, the damage from the Rocky Port incident. So Rocky Port is here in Hachinosu Island. So that's where it was. Okay, very interesting. But going on from this, let's focus a little bit more on Vasco's shot. So Vasco's shot seems to be able to burn things, which if he's a liquor man, he'll probably just spread liquor all over the place, light a match, and just burn it. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense. He could more than likely do that. I think Vasco's shot's abilities will be very, very interesting. And probably creative, because you know how Oda is. He does stuff like that. He's very creative with how he does fight scenes sometimes. And abilities. So I think that this might be very interesting, but you got to keep in mind, I also predicted that Sanji would be fighting against Vasco's shot. And so they both have to do something with fire. So maybe Vasco's shot is somewhat resistant to fire. Maybe. You know Sanji is. So it's like, okay, you got the blue flames of Sanji versus the alcoholic flames of a freaking Vasco's shot. So you might see that happen. But that's what I've been banking on this whole time. So let's see how it goes. But yes, we were introduced to San Juan Wolf. He has the colossal, the big fruit. He became a gigantification man. I think most people already knew that because I think they kind of confirmed that in SBS, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, we already knew that. So, you know, he's just sitting there sleeping, doing absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So yeah. But anyways, so we also find out more about Sword. So Sword is kind of affiliated with the government, but kind of not. And you know, we see Aokiji here explaining, oh yeah, like Sword, everyone in Sword is pretty much resigned from their commission. So pretty much they can just ignore whatever the heck the government says, because they're pretty much not really a part of the government anyway. I mean, of the Navy anyways. So they're just like, oh, for example, he says, oh, for example, they can fight an emperor like you without authorization, and the Navy can always disavow their actions and cut them loose at any given point. But Blackbeard decides to go on with his plan to, you know, become his own country anyways. So Kobe, he has a few flashbacks here. He actually has another flashback where he's talking to Perona, one of the top 3 sexiest girls in One Piece. I honestly, like, I have her tied with Bonnie. Honestly, I think I might edge out Perona a little bit. I'm a Perona guy. I don't know what you want from me. I like Perona. Perona's fine, okay? What do you want from me? Okay? But anyways, but yeah, it's like she's somewhat tied with Bonnie. Number 1 is Robin for me, I'm sorry. But yeah, Perona says, hey, I'll let you out if you free Moria-sama for me. He's in one of the deeper cells. And so, Kobe, being the good guy he is, he decides to go along with it. Even though he's working with the pirate, he decides to go along with it. But then we have the team. We have GARP and a few good men coming in hot. One of them's a Logia. It's like a clay Logia. So that's interesting. We have a clay Logia. And then we have another woman who's like a whip woman. Her name is Kujaku, which actually means peacock. So she can whip anything and command it, and she'll basically she's whipping buildings and telling them to move, and that's what they're doing. She's whipping them and they're moving. It's hilarious. Oh, it's just funny, but it's funny because you can tell this is like a straight up sexual girl But she can also be like a slave owner if she really wants to. That's essentially what the whip is, because the whip can be used for sexual purpose, because you know you have a dominatrix, and the whip can be used for slaves. And then we get to see Hibari. We know of Hibari already, so she has some weird thing where she turned all their bullets into like flower bullets. So yeah, that's interesting, but she seems to be like a sniper type person. It doesn't say she has a devil fruit of any kind, which is very interesting. But then we get to see Gollum. Gollum is the Clayman that I mentioned before, but he apparently was using like little claymation, I don't want to call them dolls, but I guess you could say that, claymation dolls, and he can just create as many Marines as he wants apparently with his clay ability. And that's exactly what, and that's kind of cool. That's really cool. So he could just send in an army of just clay people if he wanted to. and they wouldn't get damaged. I mean, they can kind of get damaged. You can cut their head off, but they'll just mold back. You know, they're just clay, so you're not really accomplishing anything, right? Which is cool. So GARP and a few good men pulled up. Oh, also, you know, we have Helmeppo and Tashigi. For the first time ever, Tashigi is not actually with Smoker. Like, I couldn't even say her name right without thinking about Smoker. It's like they're the Team Rocket, essentially, of this whole thing. Kind of. You could kind of do that. But overall, that's pretty cool. But the main attraction here, GARP. This man, GARP. This man, GARP. Oh my God, he jumps off. Okay, so they launched the ship up in the air onto the top of the island. GARP jumps off and he does one punch. One punch. And he names it, there are two different names for this, Galaxy Impact. And there's also Galaxy Fist. I prefer Galaxy Impact, probably because that's the first thing I heard, but Galaxy Impact just sounds cooler. Honestly, this name, heck, and the attack is cooler than Divine Departure to me. And I'm not being a Shanks hater. I'm not being a Shanks hater. I know that's the first thing people are gonna think, because I do make fun of Shanks, but I mostly make fun of Shanks fans, to be real with you. But this attack is cooler to me because it's more of a DC-like attack, where you have like this destructive range, this destructive capability range here. And then with Shanks' Divine Departure, it's more like a focused attack. Which one is stronger? Well, it depends on which one's your favorite character, I guess, because that's all you people are gonna do anyways when it comes to scaling the attack potency of this thing now, aren't you? Let's keep it a buck here. Let's be real. That's what people are going to do. Although I'll just say what I like more. I like Galaxy Impact more because of just, it's like a bijou bomb, only someone's just punching. It's like looking at One Punch Man do his thing. It's crazy. I love this to death. Oh, Galaxy Impact. There are so many drawings, so many good moments of this dude. I just, so many, oh my God. GARP is amazing. But as I've been saying a while ago, and I have a lot to say, and honestly, this might take another video. Hopefully I have the time to do it. It's been super busy, but I hope to eventually, very soon, hopefully, talk about GARP in depth, at least when it comes to, in terms of where he stands at in power. I just mentioned Yonko level, but I really want to talk about this because it's something that has been very apparent that I, for some stupid freaking reason, never really noticed until later. And not many other people noticed it. It's like a very few amount of people that noticed this. And I wish y'all were more vocal. I really do. But I'll talk about that in the future when it comes to GARP. Because GARP really, we underrate GARP a little too much. He should not be Admiral level, I'm sorry. And I'm not saying that just because of this chapter. Let me say it again. I am not saying that just because of this chapter. I'm saying that because of a few other things, but we'll get into that another day. But anyways, this chapter was really great. I was super excited to see more of the Blackbeard Pirates' abilities, or at least the confirmation of their abilities. And I'm really like, okay, cool. Now I can imagine a little bit more things about what they can do when they're facing off against their people. Like I said, I believe that Carrot is facing off against the Vala Pizarro. I believe that Sanji's facing off against Vasco Shot. You already know Zoro's facing off against Shiryu. I mean, come on. If you don't know that yet, get with the program. If you don't know, Zoro is facing Shiryu, guys. You should know this. Some people don't, but you really should. However, if you disagree with the Vasco Shot stuff, okay, I mean, it's whatever. But I believe Sanji versus Vasco Shot, Frankie versus San Juan Wolf, because I do think Frankie's gonna get like a big old Megazord by the end of the series. I'm not partially kidding. This is serious. I think he's gonna be like a giant kaiju battle, which would be one of the more beautiful things that I've seen in One Piece. I'm not gonna lie. People underrate Frankie, man. They really do. Y'all need to stop. But and then I believe that who else? Well, of course, you know, Van Auger, Usopp. If you didn't know, you should. I mean, like, come on. Chopper, Doc Q. If you didn't know, you should. Everybody else, though, you know, I can understand if you kind of have a different opinion. Katarina Devon, Nami, and Robin versus the 10 Titanic Captain. I believe, like I said, I think in the 1080s, they're really going to show the 10 Titanic Captain. Like I said, I believe Stussy is the 10 Titanic Captain. Now, really think about this. And there are a few things that we need to really think about this. There is a very good reason why Oda did not show what the Straw Hats were up to. This is a Blackbeard chapter in full. No Luffy, no any Straw Hat whatsoever. Just Blackbeard and Garp and the Marines. So that doesn't usually happen. That's a very different thing from Oda. And I love it because usually, but like, think about last chapter, right? We got Shanks and Kid, right? That was like half the chapter. We still got Luffy. We got, well, at least we got what was going on in the area that Luffy was in. We still got that. But in this case, we didn't get that. Because the last chapter showed off Blackbeard's ship. Blackbeard is over there heading to Egghead Island. Which, my theory was that the 10th Titanic Captain was actually in Egghead Island, and that was Stussy. Blackbeard's headed over there. And what happens? They do not show what's going on in Egghead Island. This is the first time Oda's done this in God knows how long. God knows how long. So, big things are going to happen when Blackbeard shows up. And the 10th Titanic Captain, it's about that time because it's the end of the saga. You might as well do it. I've talked about this in previous videos. Guys, it's that time. It's that time for the 10th Titanic Captain. And when the 10th Titanic Captain gets here, when Blackbeard has all of his captains, you best believe that Luffy's going to get his 10th commander, which, in my honest opinion, will be Carrot. Now, everyone's free to have their own opinions, it's fine. But it's gonna be Carrot, okay? I mean, it's gonna happen, I'm sorry. Yeah. But look forward to the final Straw Hat showing up, but I believe that the 10th Titanic Captain will show up first. That's where I'm at currently. But you guys let me know what you think, and did you like this chapter? Please, by all means, like and subscribe. Come and join the Vagabond's journey. This chapter is so freaking good, dude. Oh my God, Oda he's been blessing us, but we are getting a break week, which for me, it's kind of a blessing because I kind of need to chill right now. I kind of do. I'm not gonna do any Reddit comments or Twitter comments today or any of that sort, but with all that being said, Vagabond gone.